What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name's Kyle. Tonight, Saturday evening, we'll hang out for the next half hour or so. We're going to go over any of the player news and any of the updates that came out today, as well as answer all of your questions in the chat room. So fire up your question if you got one. Let me know your scoring format if that could help me along. And then we got Harris in the chat room. Hope you're doing well tonight, my man. We're going to kind of just go over some of the player news. I typed up some of the main ones. It looks like Keenan Allen officially doubtful. He's probably not going to play Monday Night Football. Let me hop into a screen share here. I'll show you what we're working with. Jonathan Taylor and Nahim Heinz both ruled out early this morning. Kyle Pitts expected to play. It looks like Tua Tagovailoa has a shot to play in Week 7. And then Carson Wentz, man, right ring finger has a fracture. Status up in the air for the next coming week. So we'll see. Maybe we see Taylor Heineke or the rookie Sam Howell. So we'll see about that. But otherwise, I'm going to kind of slowly work my way through the injury report news and see what we got here. Good evening to Aiden. Hope you're doing well. Is Kenneth Walker and Tyler Lockett a good stack? I'm very into that stack. I think if we look at the fantasy points allowed here, the Arizona Cardinals, man, not a very good defense. And you can kind of see here the Cardinals, they have been stingier against those positions, but they've actually there's been a couple games where have been outliers, and for the most part, I think all positions against the Cardinals defense are pretty good hit. And if the Seahawks are going to win, they got to establish the run. So that leads into Kenneth Walker. And right now, Tyler Lockett, he's one of the best wide receivers going up against zone defense, and that's primarily what the Cardinals play. So to me, I think it's Lockett over DK for tomorrow. So I'm cool with both Seattle Seahawks. Pick 2, Jeff Wilson, Mostert, Walker. I'm going to go Jeff Wilson and Walker. Dobbins or Kareem Hunt, rest of season, non-PPR. Non-PPR, you probably got to go with Dobbins. If it was full PPR, I would be for sure Kareem Hunt, but I think maybe Kareem Hunt's a little bit more trustworthy. I think I like his position. I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to go Kareem Hunt over Dobbins rest of season. Good evening to Justin. Hope you're doing well. We're just going over some questions. I'm going to fire up some of the player news and see what's all good. We'll move it on down here. The rookie running back, Tyrion Davis-Price, expected to play tomorrow. He's going to compete for backup duties with Tevin Coleman. Zeke or Henderson rest of season. Whew. Well, it's kind of hard because we really don't know what's going on with Cam Akers, do we? Like, is it something personal? Is he requesting a trade? Is he want to play football? Like, there's just so many unknowns with that. So it's kind of hard for me to say Darrell Henderson's the guy that you want to keep the rest of the season. Whereas I know Zeke's got a role in that offense. He's going to get the opportunity. So I think it's hard until we figure out what's going on with Cam Akers. There's also potential. Maybe the Rams go out and get another running back. You know, if they want to sign another running back or go trade for one like Christian McCaffrey or something like that. I think it's hard. It's kind of murky with Darrell Henderson. I think for this week, give me Darrell Henderson, but for the rest of the season, it's probably Zeke. PPR: Mostert, Dobbins, Dillon, and Dobbs. That's a tough one. These guys are all kind of flex plays that I'm not super excited about. You probably want to go Mostert in there because he's the one that's going to get the most touches of the group. And then I think I'm going to go with Dobbs, Dillon, Dobbins. So Mostert, Dobbs, Dillon, Dobbins is how I would do it. Dalton Schultz or Freiermuth rest of season. Dalton Schultz has the knee injury. That makes me a little bit nervous. I think I'm going to go with Pat Freiermuth. I know he's got a concussion. He's out this week, but I'm going to go with Freiermuth. Good evening, Christian. Hope you're doing well. What do we think about trading for T. Higgins and giving up Hollywood Brown? I'm very open to that. You're potentially buying low here on a guy like T. Higgins, who we've seen him be a wide receiver 1 for a few weeks this season. And with Hollywood Brown, he's been like a top 5, top 10 wide receiver this year. But we do have DeAndre Hopkins coming back, which could add a wrinkle to things. But I'm still not sure what kind of DeAndre Hopkins we're going to get. Are we going to get a vintage DeAndre Hopkins, or is he going to look another year older? You know, what level is he going to be? So I think for me, This is a preference trade. I'm always on the T Higgins side, so I'm gonna say I like T Higgins in this one. Green, Anderson, or Gage. Assuming that's AJ Green. Oh, Justin, this is gross. Green, Anderson, or Gage. I guess I'll go with Russell Gage. Yeah, that was game of the year, I think. Would you trade away Deontay for Jeff and Brandon Ayuk? I think if you needed the running back depth, yes. I prefer Deontay over Brandon Ayuk. I think he's a more consistent receiver option in your starting lineup. So I think if you're okay with downgrading at receiver, but you gain a running back, I'm cool with it. But I don't know if it's completely necessary. It really depends on your other running backs there. Jacoby or Kenny Pickett. For tomorrow, I mean, both tough matchups tomorrow. Cleveland getting, of course, the New England Patriots. Where do the Patriots rank here? Am I crazy? I can't read it. Patriots actually allow a decent amount of points here. They've allowed 8 passing touchdowns on the year. And then Kenny Pickett going up against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a tough matchup. I think Pickett's gonna have to throw the ball a ton tomorrow. Either way, they're both tough. I'm gonna lean with Jacoby. Jaguars defense a safe play this week. I'm open to it. One of my favorite ways to look at this. So I have this chart here called it's called DraftKings Sportsbook, and that's where I type up all the odds. And basically, you're looking at this middle column here, the team total. Teams at the top are expected to score more points. Teams at the bottom expected to not score a lot of points. So the Jags going up against the Colts, projected to lose here by a little bit, but they're always projected to give up 22. And that line might have changed, actually. I haven't looked and I didn't see what happened after the Jonathan Taylor news. So let's actually double check this. So it kind of stayed about the same. I mean, they're basically saying the Colts are going to score about 20 points. So I think it's a good play. They don't really have a running back that we trust. I think Deion Jackson's interesting, but Stafford or Matt Ryan has been known to turn the ball over. So I'm cool with the Jags tomorrow if you're in a pinch. This DFS lineup: Allen, Stevenson, Walker, Kupp, Odell, Dobbs, Higbee, Panthers D. Panthers D must be really cheap, eh? So I mean I like the Josh Allen, Stevenson, Walker, Kupp. I like moving up for that. I would recommend getting some kind of stack in there with, like, if you could get Gabe Davis or Stephon Diggs in this lineup, I think I would feel better about it. Because I mean, right now it's weird because you have Kupp and Higbee in there, but you got the Panthers D, so those kind of butt heads against each other right now. So I don't know if I like that pairing, but I get it. If the Panthers D is super cheap, that makes sense. But I would if you're going to have Josh Allen as your quarterback, you should probably find his best receiver. And then I might change some of the Rams, Panthers D stuff. Derrick Henry, Miles Sanders, Damian Harris, J.D. McKissick, and Benjamin. Whew. Then you're going to want to keep Deontay. Keep Deontay in that situation. Walker or J.K., I'm going with Walker. And it's not particularly close. I think Kenneth Walker is like a top 12, top 15 back tomorrow. Favorite trimming can use for next week due to Hurts' bye. Let's look at that. That's a good question there, Christian. Let's look at week 7, man. It's gonna be pretty tough because there's a lot of good quarterbacks on bye. So if you could add a quarterback this week to try and beat some of the other teams, I think that's a smart move. Because next week you're gonna have Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, and Jalen Hurts on bye. So if you need a quarterback for next week, you might want to go snag one now. So in terms of streaming quarterbacks, it depends if that's Winston or Andy Dalton. I think Arizona is interesting. Atlanta, Cincinnati, that's Joe Burrow versus Mariota. I don't love that. Jared Goff versus Dallas. I don't love that. Dak. If Dak's out there, he should be owned. Maybe Ryan Tannehill against Tennessee. Aaron Rodgers at Washington. That's a good matchup for the Packers. Maybe Daniel Jones here at Jacksonville. That one seems to be intriguing for me. Daniel Jones at Jacksonville. If someone dropped Russell Wilson at home against the Jets, that could be kind of nice. Derek Carr against Houston. Maybe Geno Smith at LA. That one's kind of fun. Kansas City at San Francisco. Maybe Jimmy Garoppolo because they're gonna have to keep up with Kansas City. And then maybe Kenny Pickett at Miami. That could be a nice game there. Sunday Night Football. Maybe we get a good Steelers spot here. Otherwise, I think Tua is going to be playing in this one. Otherwise, Mac Jones or Justin Fields are in play. I'm thinking Daniel Jones though. That's the one that stuck out the most to me. So I'll say Daniel Jones. If Russell Wilson was dropped, he's a good shot. Maybe Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe Kenny Pickett, and then maybe Mac Jones. Myers, DJ Moore, or Lazard start one. If that's full PPR, Justin, I'm going to say Myers, Lazard, DJ Moore. Yeah, it's not like Tua. The fact that he was practicing this week, everything looks pretty good. Does T. Higgins or Keenan Allen hold more value? I'm gonna prefer T. Higgins. Especially in a redraft. T. Higgins has been playing well when he's healthy, and I know he's been dinged up with that ankle. But I think rest of season, I do like Keenan Allen, but a hamstring injury that he's aggravated once already makes me a little nervous. For PPR, they're kind of equal. Higgins and Keenan Allen, both very good players. I'm gonna go with the younger talent though. Give me T. Higgins over Keenan Allen, but it's really close. It's almost a preference call. Good evening to Andrew. Got to decide between Darrell Henderson and AJ Dillon. Who do I play? Me and Andrew. Andrew's my older brother. So Andrew and I, we have a keeper team. It's a standard scoring team. So it's pretty much, we just call it the touchdown league, right? And we have Ramondre Stevenson locked and loaded as our RB1. And then our RB2, it's between Darrell Henderson and AJ Dillon. So I'm curious who you guys think we should start at running back 2. And it's tough for me because you guys know me. I love the AJ Dillon. But if we just do the math and we just go by who allows the most points to the position, the Carolina Panthers, they rank 26th against the running back. They've allowed over 600 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground, and 2 touchdowns through the air. So that's 6 touchdowns right there for the RB. So that Darrell Henderson intrigues me tomorrow. And then the New York Jets, they've been stingier against the run. They have allowed 4 touchdowns and then 1 touchdown through the air. So I think it's a good spot. Like, both running backs should score. It's been 4 weeks since AJ Dillon has scored. Packers picked to win by a touchdown. I think we could see some nice things there for AJ Dillon. So I'm tending to agree with Justin. I think Henderson is safer just based on volume. Like, Henderson should get the ball 15 to 20 times. And it's pretty clear. Like, he is the third down. Like, they love throwing him the ball. They also are going to use him in the goal line situation. So to me, I think Henderson is safer. And he's got the easier matchup. Harris says AJ Dillon. So to me, I'm going to lean slightly Darrell Henderson. But I think if you're just like in a touchdown league, you're just like, which guy's going to score a touchdown? I think both score a touchdown tomorrow. So it's a tough question, Andrew. I think Henderson's probably the safer play. But if you're going to the Packers-Jets game tomorrow, I guess we can play AJ Dillon. Tom Brady and Leonard Fournette, good stack. That's a nice stack there, Harris. I don't know if Fournette's going to get 10 for 83 through the air again, but I fully expect Tampa Bay to kind of do whatever they want against the Steelers defense. If you look here, Steelers allowing the 28th most fantasy points per game to other teams. So QBs, wide receivers, and in running backs are a pretty good spot. I got a defense for next week. Minnesota on bye. Let's look at that schedule again. What about Cincinnati hosting the Atlanta Falcons? Interested there. I'm assuming Dallas is already rostered. Maybe Tennessee at home against Indy. Maybe Green Bay on the road, potentially going up against Heineke or the rookie Sam Howell. I'm assuming Tampa Bay's rostered. I kind of like the New York Giants-Jacksonville game. I don't know if that's going to be a super high-scoring game. Maybe Denver against the Jets. Maybe Vegas Raiders against Houston. Keep in mind, the Raiders played a hell of a game, a hell of a half against the Chiefs the last time we saw them. Kansas City against San Francisco, maybe. Pittsburgh, Miami. It's New England. If New England's available, that's the one against Chicago. I like that a lot. So hopefully some of those ring out. I think Cincinnati's a sneaky one against Atlanta. Kenny Pickett or Daniel Jones for next week. For next week, Kenny Pickett, Daniel Jones. I'm gonna lean. Well, how about if you're making the move tonight, I'm gonna say Daniel Jones. But if we see Kenny Pickett kind of do okay tomorrow against Tampa Bay, I might be willing to change my mind to Kenny Pickett because I thought, I mean, he threw the ball 52 times, but he threw for a ton of yards. So Pickett's interesting. I think I'm going to go with Daniel Jones, though, as of tonight. Do you like this one better? Allen, Stevenson, Eno, Godwin, Lockett, Ronald, Mark, Walker, Saints, D. This one does look better, Aiden. This one does look a lot better. Lockett, Ronald. Who's Ronald? Godwin, Lockett, Ronald. Who is Ronald? Is that Rondale? Who's Ronald? It does look better though, this one. Dillon or James Robinson, non-PPR. I'm going to go with A.J. Dillon. Thoughts on Van Jefferson? I'm not super excited about Van Jefferson. I don't know if he's coming. Has he been? I want to see if he's been activated. I don't think so. He's coming back soon. But I mean, at this point, I'm not super excited about Van Jefferson, in part because I'm not super excited about this offense. So the latest that we've heard from ESPN, I guess, is September 24th. I don't know too much about it. I'm not super excited about it. You also have the potential for Odell Beckham to return. It's going to be, we're probably going to be. I don't know if we'll ever trust Van Jefferson in our fantasy lineups. He's a good player, but he's coming off 2 knee surgeries. I tend to be nervous about those kind of things, so I think I'd pass. And yeah, Andrew's going to Lella Lambeau tomorrow. Enjoy the game. Tom Brady or Geno Smith? I gotta go Tom Brady, man. I gotta go Tom Brady. I know Geno's balling out, but the hype for Kenneth Walker tomorrow. I feel like Kenneth Walker's going to score a touchdown. I gotta go Tom Brady. And England is there. Do I drop Deion Jackson for him? Justin, if you're, because I remember you asked about Deion Jackson earlier today. If you need to block someone from adding Deion Jackson, wait till tomorrow morning and drop Deion Jackson, because then I think it might dump him to waivers. I'm not sure if that's how your league is set. But if you can grab New England, I think New England at home against Chicago, that's a pretty good spot there. I've done that in a couple leagues as well. And that's Rondale. Okay. I really think, Aiden, you should, if you're going to have Josh Allen as your quarterback, you got to find a way to stack one of Diggs or one of Diggs. You need to get some of Josh Allen's weapons in there. Because Jackson, if I drop him, he is on waivers. So I think it works. If you hold the guy for a day or so and then you drop him the next day, I think he has to wait a full day on waivers before he's picked up again. So I would wait till tomorrow morning, and then you can try the switcheroo. Excuse me. All right. Is the Taysom Hill hype worth it? Well, considering the amount of weapons that are going to be missing from the Saints tomorrow, let me show you. They've already ruled out a handful of players here. Landry, Michael Thomas, and they also ruled out Deontay Hardy, who has been an interesting wide receiver for them over the last few years. Chris Olave is questionable with a concussion. So, they're literally going into tomorrow with Andy Dalton, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Marquez Callaway, and maybe Chris Olave. So he might be leaned on tomorrow. I don't know about the longevity of Taysom Hill. I think he's a really interesting player. But when you roster a guy like him or you start a guy like him, you have to be fully comfortable with getting a zero. That is the risk, potentially getting a zero from Taysom Hill. Or even if it's a touchdown and 10 yards rushing, he's not going to be involved in the passing game. So that's kind of the risk you take. It's either I want a touchdown or I want nothing. So with that in mind, I would say in a full PPR league, I'm not trying to mess with Taysom Hill. If you're playing in a standard league where touchdowns are king, then he becomes very interesting at tight end. Lazard or Adam Thielen or George Pickens half PPR. Lazard's been playing really well. In terms of matchups, I don't think it's the best matchup for Lazard tomorrow. Let me pull this up. So the Jets are playing good defense right now. You can see none of their matchups are green. So I think Green Bay's offense is gonna have to earn it tomorrow. I expect them to be tough and physical, though. So Lazard is one of those players. But it's coming back to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, pretty good against quarterbacks, running backs. They're leaky, though, against wideouts and tight ends. So I kind of like Pickens. I'm going to say Pickens, Lazard, and then Adam Thielen. We're probably seeing the end of Adam Thielen here. Tom Brady or Kirk Cousins and AJ Dillon or Clyde Edwards-Helaire on PPR. Give me Tom Brady and give me. I'm gonna go AJ Dillon in that one. I think AJ Dillon's got a good chance to score tomorrow. Cornell Patterson, that is. Let's pull that up because I'm interested in Cornell Patterson, but in terms of like, what is his value when he comes back? Let's look at that. So in terms of positional ranking, I mean the dude is still RB22 right now. So that's like you should be able to get a running back too if you can try and get basically anybody above here, whether it's Ramondre Stevenson, I think Kareem Hunt. If you're trying to, get you can maybe get Aaron Jones and Miles Sanders. You probably can't touch Breece Hall or Dameon Pierce. But I'm thinking some of these guys that are just above him in the rankings right now, or even if you wanted Montgomery, I'm fine with that too. You can ask the DeAndre Swift owner what's up. But if you're trying to either sell or acquire him right now, these are the sweet spot of names here. I think hopefully that helps. Melvin Gordon or Devin Singletary non-PPR. I'm going with Devin Singletary. I just want to just make you guys be cautious about the Broncos backfield. You got the coach talking about excited to see Latavius Murray. I think Latavius Murray, he had a really nice game. The one game he played with the Saints while Alvin Kamara was out over in London. I'm actually looking for him right now. Where is Mr. Murray? So I know Latavius is an older back, but he went 11 for 57 and a touchdown, 1 for 8. Like, if that's his workload for the Broncos, like we got something here. So this is the guy that I've added in a lot of leagues. The coaching staff likes Latavius Murray, from what I've heard. So be wary of Melvin Gordon, I suppose. So yeah, we'll go with Singletary. If Olave plays, you want Olave. That's a tough one, my man. I don't know how to read this chart. This one's very concerning to me. He gets a limited practice in on Friday, but DNP and DNP on Wednesday, Thursday. For me being a T. Higgins, I have him in a lot of leagues. I'd almost rather him just sit out, like stay healthy, keep another week off that ankle, and we'll get you next week. But if he plays, I'm probably going to try and play him unless you have a really good option behind him. I'm probably going to play him. Oh yeah, Mostert is killing it right now. PFF. Let's look at the week 5 recap here. Let me pull up week 5 recap. Miami. All right. So here you go. Last week, Raheem Mostert, 46 snaps. Miles Gaskin played more than Chase Edmonds. So, I mean, at this point, I think it was a couple weeks ago, one of you guys cut Chase Edmonds, and we were like, oh, do we do it? I think it's officially time to cut Chase Edmonds if you've been rostering him. Because look at Miles Gaskin, 13 snaps to Edmonds' 10. In terms of routes run, 20 for Mostert, 9 for Gaskin, 5 for Edmonds. Targets, 2 for Mostert, 5 for Gaskin, 2 for Edmonds. 18 carries, 4-1. So it's very clear Raheem Mostert is the guy going forward. It sounds like Chase Edmonds, it sounds like it's over. Higgins or Jerry Jeudy, non-PPR. If Higgins plays, I think I'm gonna play Higgins. And the good thing for you is that's a noon game. So if Higgins plays, you can get him in there. And if he doesn't play, you have Jerry Jeudy as a backup. So I think that's how I'm going to play it. Yeah, I want Higgins in my lineup. If he's going to be out there and if he's good to go, he's going to help our fantasy lineups. But we'll hang out for another 5 or so minutes. Tomorrow morning I will go live an hour and a half before the early game. So to me that's 10:30 Central Time. Come hang out with us. Usually 90 minutes before kickoff is when we start getting a lot of alerts. So that's kind of for me that's the best time to be live as we're getting stuff coming in. So if you guys want to hang out with us tomorrow morning, come with your final questions, and we'll update everything that we got going on. What do you guys think of the Panthers? McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, are these guys going to be traded? There's a handful of Panthers that could be, moved around in the next coming weeks or so. When is the NFL trade deadline? Let me look this up. NFL trade deadline. It is, when is the trade deadline? November 1st. So we're just a little about 2 weeks away from that. So that's going to be very interesting to see if anything happens before that. I'm assuming that we're going to see some good trades. Was Carter and Breece Hall splitting snaps? So Carter got some goal line work, and so I didn't get to watch that game. I have a feeling what had happened was Breece Hall got them downfield, and he either subbed out or he was winded or something, and they brought in Michael Carter. So Breece Hall 41-25 in favor of snaps. He ran 12 routes to Carter's 8. Both saw 2 targets and then carries 18-10. I think this game was kind of a blowout by half. I don't know if it was by half or by third quarter. So this might have just been an accumulation for Michael Carter at the end. I think going forward, like they have a tough game against Green Bay this week. Let me actually look at this. Where is the Jets? The New York Jets. Michael Carter. Where is Michael Carter? Michael Carter, man, he's RB23 on the year. So the Jets schedule coming up, you're talking Green Bay, Denver, New England, Buffalo. Whew, that's tough. I'm assuming they're gonna go with the better running back in these games where they have more to lose. So Breece Hall's fine. Like Breece Hall is one of the running backs that you should be trading for right now. So if you have Breece Hall, you're gonna be fine. I think it was just kind of a weird game. Nahim Heinz has been ruled out, so he's not playing tomorrow. So if you're in that much of a pinch, it's Latavius Murray, unless you can go get Deion Jackson. Let me actually look at let's click on. So one of my favorite things to do is just click percent rostered, and let's kind of roll down and see what's what. Or actually, we'll hit projected, and then we'll see what jumps out at us tomorrow. Benjamin should be picked up. He's about 61% rostered. Darrell Henderson Jr. You should go pick him up. He's under 60%. And there's Deion Jackson. If Harris, if you're in a pinch and Deion Jackson's out there, he's a better start than Latavius or Nahim Heinz because he's going to be the guy leading in carries. You look at what he did last week, and again, this was a good matchup against Denver. He goes 13 for 62, 4 for 29. So Deion Jackson is a sneaky good play tomorrow. He's worth holding on to. He's available in this league. I should maybe look at adding him. But he would be a guy that I'm super interested about starting if he's available. Nobody else really sticking out for me at this point. But I'm going to say Latavius Murray from that question. That would be interesting. I'm not sure like who's in the market to be dealt. You probably don't want Robbie Anderson. I think DJ Moore would be a nice asset there. I think he could be a guy that Daniel Jones really leans into. So if they have the money for DJ Moore, go and do it. Trade Patterson and CH for non-PPR. I would. I don't trust Patterson or Clyde Edwards-Helaire much going forward. So if that's what it costs to get Breece Hall, I think I would do so. That's a good looking idea there. I think you want to acquire Ramondre Stevenson. This is a guy here who he's been balling out the last 3 weeks. Everything is up. The attempts, the yards, the receptions. Like this is looking like a really nice opportunity. And look at the schedule for the Patriots. Look at the schedule here. We're talking Cleveland, Chicago, the Jets, the Colts. There's going to be a bye week, and then you get the Jets, the Vikings. Buffalo's going to be tough. You can run on Arizona. You can run on the Raiders, Cincinnati, Miami. Like I kind of like this schedule for the New England Patriots. And Ramondre Stevenson, man, we could be talking about a potential league winner here if he continues to keep in mind, like Harris got hurt in that game, 25 for 161. He's not going to get that all the time. But if he can be between 12 and 14 carries per game and he's getting 2 to 4 catches, we're talking about a really nice running back here. So Ramondre Stevenson, one of my favorite guys to go trade for right now. if you can get it. But we're going on the hour here. But the half hour, is Tyler Higbee going to play? I think so. They didn't seem too concerned. The fact that he got limited on Thursday and Friday, it seemed like they were just kind of taking it easy because they had a lot of guys DNP. I mean, even Cup, Donald, a handful of guys here DNP, but they were all good to go. So I think Higbee's going to be fine. But we'll see tomorrow morning. But that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me. If you guys do want to hang out tomorrow morning, again, 90 minutes before kickoff, we'll go live. I'll set that up later tonight here, so it'll be live for you guys in the morning. But enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Peace.